Time for Overreaction Monday here on Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. We got a lot of storylines to get into heading into Monday Night Football, which we'll touch on that game toward the end of the show. Let's start in New York. Russell Wilson remains QB1 for now as Brian Daboll announced he will start against the Cowboys in Week 2. That comes after dodging a lot of questions yesterday and being non-committal on the possibility of already turning to Jaxson Dart. I didn't expect him to go to Dart after one game, but I got to be honest, that was dreadful from Russell Wilson. I mean, it was dink and dunk, and then when he finally started to throw downfield, not very accurate at all. He is not good under pressure at this point in his career because he cannot create nearly at the level that he once did. And I think we saw last year in Pittsburgh, his first couple of starts taking over for Justin Fields was like, okay, like, he's definitely better than what he was in Denver. He's not what he was in Seattle, but like this is a at least serviceable to solid level quarterback. But then down the stretch last year, it didn't look great, and it looked atrocious yesterday. It's just he can't throw over the middle of the field. He can't escape like he used to. It's just not gonna work. I mean, I know I've been in the camp, and I'm not trying to overreact to one game, even though it is Overreaction Monday. But it's like, look, unless Jaxson Dart is just clearly not ready, if we see another dud, I would make the switch. And I know that's a big swing of my mindset here, but like if they feel like Dart is at least ready to be functional and to just get these live reps, I mean, what are we waiting for? That was just putrid yesterday. And by the way, Washington is not viewed as a team that's going to have a great defense. It could be solid, but a lot of aging players on that side and put up 6 points. That was not great. I mean, you go out and lose to Dallas next week, who, you know, could be solid, but I don't think they're going to light the world on fire. I know starting for the first time against the Chiefs wouldn't be ideal in prime time versus the Chargers. I mean, clearly you look at that schedule, and ideal time would be Week 5 against the Saints, one of the worst teams in the NFL. That would be ideal to get Jaxson Dart out there for the first time. But if they go out there against the Cowboys and put up less than 14 points, I think a change could come next week. And again, I'm not trying to switch up like that quick, but clearly Daboll was impressed with Dart in the preseason. He was non-committal to Russ last night. You throw out there another dud. I mean, 17 of 37. I mean, that's not even like close to being close. That's just horrible. So a lot of pressure on Russ, and clock's ticking on him being a starting quarterback in the NFL, and who knows? Maybe next week's his last start of his career. You never know. All right, when will the Giants start Jaxson Dart? What game will it be? If they get blown out next week and Wilson sucks, I think he's going to start Week 3. I really do think there could be a quick trigger here. So you give me your thoughts down in the comment section below when it comes to Dart in New York. All right, from one dumpster fire to another, and this is more of a full org dumpster fire, the Miami Dolphins. I mean, are you kidding me? You go, I get it's on the road, but indoors, good weather climate for a Tua-run team, you lose 33-8 to Daniel Jones and the Colts. I mean, that is a complete embarrassment. There's just no defending that performance. The Colts didn't punt a single time. 7 drives, no punts. And oh, by the way, they say, okay, it's one thing if the defense is bad. Tua was horrible. And I know I said a week or two ago, like I've gained a lot of respect for Tua because I watched last year when he was out, the Dolphins were dysfunctional. They couldn't just run plays. At least with him, like they're above 500 as a team when he starts. He's 38-25 now, I guess, after yesterday. And, you know, he's looked the part, especially early in the seasons when the weather is good. He's indoors, and they just couldn't do anything. He looked like a lost puppy out there. It was just bizarre. Clearly, the team has lost belief in Mike McDaniel. The defense was atrocious. The offensive line was bad. 3 turnovers, 0 takeaways. I mean, they just got their fucking ass beat. Belt to ass, as the kids like to say. That was non-competitive, and a story that's already out there, and apparently Shefty says for now this is not on the table, but at what point do you just cut ties with Tyreek Hill? I get it. The value's not going to be great. You're probably looking at like a middle round pick. I would guess like a 4th round pick. And by the way, this stat caught my attention today. It's been a year to the day, week 1 of last year, since he last had a catch of over 30 yards. And that is alarming. Is he washed? Is he just disengaged? I don't know what's going on. I mean, he wasn't voted a captain this year for the first time. Tua was calling him out in the preseason for causing distractions in the offseason. Again, the value will not be great. He does not have a very good contract in terms of trade value, but just get him out. Like, they took half measures this offseason. They fake pretended to try to become a tough team by drafting, Kenneth Grant and Jonah Savainia. It's like, oh, we got Jalen Ramsey out. Why did you not get Tyreek Hill out too? It's like, are you trying to change the culture of the org, or are you just faking it? So I don't know. To me, a Mike McDaniel-led team is never going to be tough. And I'm not saying he's a bad football coach. He could be a good OC for a lot of teams, but the players, he admitted last year to the public that he would fine players for being late, and it didn't work. They kept showing up late. That tells you they don't respect you, Mike. This thing could be even worse than I thought. They could be one of the worst teams in the NFL. All right, today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. It's great to have football back, and I had a pretty good weekend. Better on Saturday on the college slate than yesterday, but we're back on the saddle tonight, which is very exciting. It's very easy to play PrizePicks, as you just pick more or less on stat projections for 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineup right, you can win up to 2,000 times your money. PrizePicks also invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Tonight, they got a little deal right now. They lessened Caleb Williams' passing yards, so I took the more on 183.5 passing yards. I love J.J. McCarthy more than 17.5 rushing yards. You know he's going to try to run around. I wouldn't even be surprised if Kevin O'Connell designed a couple of run plays for him. That's not a very large number, so I took the more on that as well. $20 entry to win $60 right there. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Are the Detroit Lions in trouble? Again, this is Overreaction Monday. It's one game. It's an overreaction, but they look pretty putrid out there against the Packers. Now, I like the Packers, pretty motivated. They were terrible in the division last year, 1-5. You trade for Micah Parsons. You're at home. It's not a must-win, but it's kind of like, to justify this trade, Jordan Love's making a lot of money. That opportunity to make a statement, that was a bigger game for Green Bay than it was Detroit, but they still got their ass kicked. I mean, the Lions were just not competitive at all in any facet of the game, but I'm more worried about the offense. Just uncompetitive running the football. 20 carries for 44 yards for one of the best running back duos in the NFL, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Sure, 31 of 39 looks fine for Jared Goff, but no big plays. It's a lot of dink and dunk, a lot of garbage time there in the last couple of drives. Got sacked 4 times, and that's really what I want to focus on with that and with the running game. The interior offensive line, that was the one X's and O's thing that I was concerned about coming into the year. Obviously, the coaching thing, Ben Johnson gone, more assistants gone, defensive coordinator gone. We had questions about that. But the one on-paper talent thing we wondered about was, okay, that interior offensive line, why does that matter? Well, Jared Goff versus internal pressure typically does not play as well. Neither does really any quarterback. Well, we saw that yesterday. He was flushed out of the pocket a lot. He can't throw very well on the move. Got sacked 4 times. Well, they couldn't run the ball between the tackles either. That interior, without Frank Ragnow, without Kevin Zeitler, they kind of got worked. So that is something to look at moving forward. John Morton, the first-year OC, I know Lions Twitter's freaking out about him, especially considering Tanner Engstrand, which I felt was weird at the time. He was the pass game coordinator under Ben Johnson last year, goes to the Jets with Aaron Glenn to be their OC. I thought it was weird when Dan Campbell didn't promote him. He went outside of the org to bring in John Morton as a first-time play caller. Why not just promote your number 2 after Ben Johnson? By the way, Engstrand had Justin Fields playing pretty well yesterday. It's not a good start. One game, not the end of the world, but that did not look like the Lions offense at all that we've become accustomed to over the last few years. All right, subscribe to the channel. We react to all major NFL storylines. We also post reaction videos after prime time games. We did it after Thursday Night Football, the Friday game in Brazil, last night as well. Have a full Bills-Ravens breakdown. What a game that was. Go check it out. Subscribe, turn on notifications. Do not miss out on any of our content. Okay, before we get to Monday Night Football, the Texans O-line doesn't feel fixed, and it was always a tough sell considering You traded your best offensive lineman in Laramie Tunsil, who I get was coming off not his best year, but still, he was kind of the one guy on that O-line that had a lot of credibility. C.J. Stroud was sacked 3 times. He was pressured on over 41% of his dropbacks. He kind of looked pedestrian as well. It's a big year for Stroud. Had an awesome rookie year, had an okay year too. Offensive line was a big reason for that, and I don't know if that unit is really going to be better. If anything, it could be worse based on the raw talent out there. And they did a lot of shuffling yesterday because last minute their right guard was ruled out, so they kicked Titus Howard inside and moved Ariante Ursery to right tackle, even though he had kind of earned the starting left tackle job. They put Cam Robinson at left tackle, then he got hurt. There's a lot of moving parts. I just don't love that. I do not love that. The pass protection is an issue once again, and that was your biggest issue last year. So if you're D'Amico Ryans and obviously Nick Caserio, you can't be feeling you can't be feeling great about that after one game. All right, Monday Night Football. We're a few hours away from Bears-Vikings at Soldier Field. Vikings a slight favorite, I think 1.5-point favorite. Over-under is set at like 43.5, so kind of a pick 'em out there tonight. We'll see how it plays out. Looking at the injury report, TJ Edwards, doubtful, not expected to play. The Bears elevated a practice squad linebacker, so I think that submits his status as out. 3 corners, questionable. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Josh Blackwell. They did not elevate a corner off the practice squad, so maybe that's a sign that at least 1 or 2 of those 3 are going to be able to play, which would be a huge lift, obviously. Roschon Johnson, questionable as well. They didn't elevate a running back, which I thought could happen as well, so maybe he's going to give it a go. They have been giving some reps to DJ Moore at running back, so we'll see what the inactives are tonight. For Minnesota, Harrison Smith is out. He did not travel. That's a big loss in the back end of their defense. Xavier Scott, Elijah Williams also out. They're more just depth pieces. But the one to watch for the inactives an hour and a half before kickoff, left tackle Christian Darrisaw, one of the best in the game. If he is out, that's a big loss for J.J. McCarthy's blindside in his first start. They would turn to Justin School to play that left tackle position. And don't forget, Jordan Addison is suspended the first 3 games, so he is not playing tonight. All right, who you guys got in this one? CHI for the Bears, MIN for the Vikings. Give us your votes on Monday Night Football. All the primetime games have been great so far, so no pressure, Chicago and Minnesota, to deliver a good game. Dallas, Philly delivered, Chiefs, Chargers delivered, and Ravens, Bills really delivered, and I would say they've gotten a little better each of these games, so if you somehow top last night, that I think we're watching a historic game tonight. So it seems pretty unlikely, but hopefully we at least get a competitive game. All right, that's going to do it for Verts. Thanks to everybody for tuning in to today's show. We will be back tomorrow with more, so hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you then.